Well, we're going to try to weld a little bracket for the tractor here. Been having trouble with this welder lately, so it's a good test to see if it's working better. Of course, Kim decided to pull up here with the lawnmower and blow it off right now. So that's what all that noise is. Need to get some cutters. I guess we didn't have enough fun right there on that tack. I didn't get my grinder ready, did I? That's got to be flush when we get through welding that, because the tractor, actually the tractor seat sits right down on there, and that sits flat on the base, the top of the hydraulic section there. So it doesn't make that much difference what it looks like. I'm gonna have to grind it all out anyway. I probably will both sides. Hoping it don't distort it too bad. Probably I'll turn it over and hack both sides. Anyway, let me get a cord hooked up. Should have had this done ahead of time. I was going to, but she pulled up and wanted me to help her with that. So let's grind this a little bit right quick. Kind of grinding it so it'll maybe I can turn it over, tap the other side and keep it from, maybe keep it from, crap, what am I doing? I don't use this thing much with this MIG welder. I don't know if you can see any of this anyway. So I'm going to turn this over. Trying to put a clamp this down somehow. Probably not going to clamp it very good. Just to keep it kind of from distorting a little bit. So anyway. Here we go with the, go ahead and weld this side up, I reckon. It may distort that off. Welder seems to be working good. Finally. After all the messing around I did with it. I thought it was, I don't know, I've had trouble since I've had that welder, brand new. I finally messed with the wire feed really clamped down hard on it, and now it seems to be working good. I put a new roll of, I've had every kind of wire I could find. You know, Miller. I don't know if I've actually used Miller, but that Radner. I've used Hobart, which, anyway, I think this is Hobart wire on it right now, but it's working good right now. We'll go ahead and weld that up, and then I'll grind it all in. Can't really see where to flip, but I think we got it sewed up there. So, yeah, I know it ain't a real wonderful weld. I wasn't worried about it. MIG welding stuff, you got a tight seam, it doesn't really have to kind of pile up. I left just a hair of a crack, but it's been welding good. I'm glad we finally got that thing. I think it's flat enough too that it's going to work okay. I think I'll let this cool for a little while before I grind it off. So anyway, we'll get back with this. All right, folks, here's my lunchtime break, like I do every day. This place is an absolute mess. I always say that. I just come in here at lunchtime, spend about an hour and a half at lunch here, and say, what the heck am I going to do today? Well, the most important pressing job right now, I think, is for this guy's lawnmower, but let's look at it a minute. It's all the pieces now, but it's blowed up on him, you might say. Said he was mowing with his ear protection on, and it just kind of locked up and blew up. I'll go ahead and show you the engine I took off. I'll shine a light in here, see if you can see. I didn't take that piston out of there, by the way. You can probably see where it kind of beat up. That rod's broke right there. See that rod? I've never pulled a head off an engine before and not found a piston in the cylinder. Of course, it's scarred up and the cylinder's broke and everything else. So, sorry this music is so loud. Let's go in here and turn it off. Here's the welding setup. I don't know if I've showed you that yet. Kind of noisy around here, isn't it? You know, I know you're not supposed to play music like that, but I don't really care, honestly. Nobody watches my videos, so I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Alright, got the air conditioning on. Remember I showed you that before. Doing good. It's about, oh, I don't want to ramble. It's about, according to this, it's 98 degrees outside. Scott, you think that Georgia weather's so hot? Let's see, it's about 98 outside here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It may not be accurate. It shows 60% humidity in here, and it is humid. So yeah, we have some of that crappy stuff here in Texas. Not usually that humid, but it has been for quite a while. Really humid. Miserable. I don't know if that temperature is accurate right now, but it's in the sun. Inside the shop here, it's about 91 degrees there. So it shows about 60-something% humidity on that thing. Anyway, here's this mower we were talking about. It's a nice machine. He bought it brand new here locally. And anyway, we're rambling on as usual, but he needs it pretty bad. He's got a lot of mowing to do. That's a nice 61 inch. I've never been a big fan of Snapper. Don't really have anything against them either. It's just, to to me most snapper mowers I've seen in the past are quite a bit harder to work on than some of the others. So anyway, I pulled this engine off because I couldn't get the head off in here. It was too much stuff to take apart, so it wasn't no big deal to pull the motor out of it. Here's what the engine is. It's a Kohler Command, which is usually a good commercial engine. 27 horsepower, they call it. I think they're really 25 horsepower. Different companies call them different things sometimes, but anyway, that's where we're at with this. And of course, I didn't show you the head here. Let's look at it a minute. When I pulled the valve cover off, I noticed one of the valve springs was laying in there and the keepers were off of it. Now, I haven't found the valve yet. Don't really want to tear into that any further. I don't need to, because we're going to replace the engine if we can get one. Looks like they're about $1,800 for another replacement engine. And that one's been beat up severely. I'm sure you can see that. The head is probably not any good either. I wouldn't want to use it. Those are about $350. I think a short block for one of these, if you could even buy one anymore. This is a 06 lawnmower, and for some reason the parts, I don't know, you can't buy that engine anymore, but not that exact engine. I think this short block, they said, was about $1,200, and plus any parts you need to, put it all back together. So who in the world would spend $1,500 or $1,600 thereabouts on a short block with all the labor involved to build it back? You can buy a new one for somewhere around $1,650 to $1,700 shipped. That is a similar engine, about the same horsepower and style. It's just this is a CV 740 with the spec dash 0027. The one I found is a CV 740-3129, I believe. It's different. It has different air filters and probably muffler setup. I don't know what the difference is. As long as it'll bolt on there and go and hook up. I mean, I think they said that the wire harness is going to be a little different. I don't know. There's only 3 wires here, so what difference does that make? Cut it off, put a different pigtail on it, or whatever. Make your own harness for that if you have to. But this has cables. I can't imagine that there's not a way to. It's just a choke cable and a throttle cable. I can't imagine there's anything here that we can't make work with, as long as the shaft size and diameter is right to go into the. There's the clutch, and this one is a professional commercial mower. If you'll notice, it has actual hydraulic pumps here, not transmissions like hydrostatic transmissions. These are actual basically hydraulic pumps and motors on each axle, and not all built in one like the cheaper versions of the, even some of the low-end commercial mowers have the regular hydrostatic transmissions, or whatever you call those, one transmission on each wheel that basically has all of that built into them. Is all it really amounts to, I guess. But these are high-end stuff here. That's probably about a $10,000 lawnmower, I would guess. I know there's some a lot higher than that. That's just what we got here. All right, that's one job we're working on, and Scott told me I hadn't updated about my welding stuff, and I don't remember if I've even shown this. I don't think I have. I'm going to get to this sometime if I can get caught up in here. I did end up buying a Hypertherm Power Max 45 XP. I know you've probably seen James Green talk about his, and that's pretty much the main model people buy, that are hobbyists at least. The bigger ones are probably 80, 85. I don't know how big they make them for the big hot tables or whatever that they use commercially, but those cut, I believe they cut 5/8 material pretty clean. I'll never need that. I usually would cut 3/16, maybe 1/4 inch most of the time. Okay, next project that I need to get done as soon as possible. This is a church van that they need to take to camp, I think here in a couple weeks. So I've got both doors tore down. Cables were all messed up in the latches, and then it's actually a pretty big job. It's a pain in the butt what it is. This is a 96 model van, so it's not a cream puff. You know, things are brittle and pain in the butt. They haven't built them this way. I've been to Ford House since '96, and they, it's been a long time since they even built crap like this. Junk, as far as I'm concerned. All right, we're still on this. What else do we need to look at? Next project, I've been working on my tractor. I got it back together. I worked on my Miller welder. I believe I got it fixed, I think. It wasn't feeding the wire right is what ended up happening. I put a new gun on it from HTP. I put that sticker on there just in case I need some parts. They seem to have pretty good supply of parts to fit most welders. I was having trouble. I had to tighten this wire feed really tight, tighter than I thought I should, and maybe I just didn't ever tighten it enough. You know, I'm bad about not wanting to over tighten something. So once I did that and I put a new roll of wire, I think it was Hobart wire is all I could find on a Sunday afternoon. It seems like it's working fine. It's a disaster area. I don't know if I ever showed you, I got a new Lincoln helmet that Jody had talked about on one of his videos. That I think it was called a Viking 3350. I'm not sure I like it, honestly. It's real heavy on your head. Otherwise, it's clear and works really good, and it's fully adjustable. I don't remember I hadn't played with these adjustments, but see, you've got sensitivity, shade, and delay time. I'd have to read about that. I set the thing on, what was it, on the shade number. I'm getting about half blind anymore, so I set it as low as I could stand, I think. Because I ain't worried about it flashing my eyes a little bit. If it starts burning my eyes, I'll turn it up. I thought it might make me be able to see a little better. So, and I do have a magnifying lens in it. I think a 2.0. All right, here's the old tractor that I've been working on. And for some reason, the bucket got to where it wouldn't go up and down. I recently converted this to a 12 volt. I should have done a video on that again. I just ordered that on eBay or somewhere. I think that DB Electrics are one of them cheap Chinesium companies. But you can see I need to do some work on replacing these lines. They're getting really old and cracked. This is just set up the way it was when I bought it. I did build a bracket for this seat. I put this Chinesium seat on there the other day, and it was leaning, so I built a bracket and welded it to this bracket under there, and I think that's a little better. I haven't routed my lines. I want to replace those hoses. Are stiff and not really the right length probably. I want to get some new ones and probably build some brackets and mount them somewhere out of the way, because they rub the tires if you don't pull on them. You know, we had the bucket. This bucket slides off pretty easy, and when I do that and I throw the lines back up, you know, I don't have them tied up where they stay out of stuff. I just threw these up here to move the tractor around. I had this valve all apart and cleaned it and trying to figure the problem out, and I never really figured the problem out, except I swapped the in and out lines on I guess that's the isolator valve there, because this uses the main pump on the tractor to the remotes to operate this. And anyway, when I swapped them, then it started working. I think it flushed whatever, maybe there's a piece of trash somewhere and it flushed it backwards, and so I had the lines reversed apparently when I was messing with it, and it just started working fine. So I just hadn't got back out here and you know, got everything put up and tied up out of the way. I need to use that tractor, and I'll show you why. This job for a guy has been waiting on me for I'd say about 3 weeks since he brought this to me. I finally cleaned this mess up some. I still got to cut them weeds out of there, but these are some crap of my own that I need to work on. This is something that was given. I already told you that, I think. I figure if I just fix this thing up and sell it, somebody might want that. I think it just sat. An old man died and had it in his garage, and his family brought it over here and gave it to me with some other junk. Because it's not worth paying somebody to work on, but you know, it's probably worth $300 if I get it going, and I might have to spend $150 on parts. So, you know, it might be worth something. Here's the project that he wants me to do. Somebody working for him had bent this wheel apparently, or the spindle of it. So I got to swap that out, put some blades on it, and I think that's all really. Thing is, that's a heavy sucker, and I got to figure I'd take my tractor, pick it up off the trailer. This is how he brought it to me. My tractor has smaller deals here, so these won't really fit on my tractor. He has a big John Deere that he uses with this. So I think I'll pick it up, and I measured that's about somewhere around 7 feet. It is a 7-foot brush hog, but I don't know what the actual measurement on the overall width, but I bet it's not much over 7 feet, if any. And I think I'm gonna pick it up with the tractor and set it right in here. That's why I gotta move this old mower here out of the way. And I think I'll set it right in here on this lift and use the lift to pick it up, and I'll get under there. And you know, those blade bolts may not unscrew real easily. We may end up with a torch or who knows what, getting them apart. We'll see. I'm definitely gonna use an impact. And so we'll see. That's a fairly pressing job because it's been here for, like I said, 2 or 3 weeks. Besides, this place is a mess. I've got some chain. I was supposed to sharpen that chain for my brother. I haven't even got to it. He don't really need it anyway, but another guy's bringing me some saw chain. I've got a couple chainsaws and weed eaters down here. Been here for a long time, since before we went to Florida. And I guess he doesn't really need them. He just thought if I wanted to fix them for him, he'll use them for a backup. And that other deal, let me show you before we go over. I know I'm probably getting you dizzy walking around like this. I'm trying to be still with this. This little machine here doesn't put out very good, I'll tell you that right now. I got a bigger one at work that's taller. This is pretty cool right here, actually. It feels cool. If you get more than about 6 foot away from it, it's not cool at all. Let's take this part here and I'll tell you about it. You may already recognize it. Let's see. See those 3 wires? Those are stator wires. There's the power wire, and I think the black one's probably the exciter wire or something. I don't know. And the center one, I have any idea what that goes to. Don't really care either. Anyway, this lady, they work oil field and a cattle ranch on their 4-wheelers sometimes. So this is her work 4-wheeler. It's a big sucker, 500 HO Sportsman Polaris. So anyway, the battery was going dead on her. She got a new battery, you know, like they always do. They didn't fix it. When I first tested it, was running the battery dead, like a draw on the battery. And when I did get it charged up, started, it was charging about 17 volts, so it's overcharging. I did quite a bit of studying on this and figured out this is the voltage regulator, and I did some tests on the rectifiers and didn't really find nothing wrong with the rectifier. I think it was intermittent, because I could get it to, I unhooked it all and put it back, and then it wasn't draining the battery, but it wasn't charging either. So anyway, I borrowed one from a friend that works at the Polaris dealer, and he actually had one that worked just like it, and it worked fine with that on there. So I'm waiting on a part to come in from Flea Bay. All right, here's my truck I've been working on today, not mine. It worked. I've been fighting this thing forever. I just put a new IWE on the 4-wheel drive. I think I brought some boxes home. That's why I'm out here. I'm sure you really care what my chores are at noon, but There's my tire that blew out on my trailer the other day. 12-foot lawnmower trailer. I was going to get a lawnmower for a widow woman, trying to help her out, and I blew a tire out. Maybe I didn't check the tire pressure. It wasn't an old tire or nothing. It was fairly old, but I mean, didn't have a lot of miles on it. Anyway, I got a new tire and wheel assembly from Tractor Supply for that. We're fixing to pour concrete out here, hopefully in the next month or so. That's why this is kind of cleared out finally. Put some weed killer on this grass, trying to kill out this grass before we start putting sand and forms and stuff in here. Hope I ain't shaking you too much. Let's go back in here. I think I've given you kind of a tour about what's going on. If and when I do tear this engine apart, which I don't really want to because there's not any point, it's a waste of time. It's just interesting to me, and probably to you, if you do any of this kind of stuff, how in the world, I've been a mechanic, you might say, not professional the whole time, but I've been a mechanic every day of my life since I was about 16 years old, which amounts to about 31 years now. I have never seen a piston disappear out of an engine. Now, I know you won't be able to see this on camera, but I did look in here yesterday. I don't think you could see this. We'll look. Because I looked all through there and I couldn't see that piston. So this little hole where your oil goes in usually, I looked in there, I can see little pieces of a piston and rods and the ring and things like that. I don't imagine that you'll ever be able to see that in there, you know. I mean, you might see a little bit in there. Could you see them parts down in that hole? Ain't that wonderful? He said, I really didn't hear much noise. It just made, I thought it was making a little noise, and so I took my ear muffs off and I shut it off, and then I started back up, and then it seemed like it wasn't too bad, and then so I kind of drove it up towards the house, and it started getting really noisy, so I shut it down, and they changed the oil, started back up. Anyway, it pretty much just chewed itself to pieces. So anyway, if you have any comments, questions, or just want to tell me what you want to know, I'm not an expert here. I'm just, I mean, I don't guess I'm an expert. I don't feel like one anyway. But if I have anything here that you want to know about, or you want me to make a video about, or if you want to see a repair on something or you want me to attempt a repair on something, or if you want me to review a piece of equipment or something that I have and tell you what I think about it, it's kind of like that little Rage 2 saw right there. I don't have a whole lot to tell you about it. I've used it some. If you see anything here you want to know about, or you want to see it in use, or you want to know where I bought it, hey, I'm all ears, as Ross Perot used to say. So anyway, you have a good one. Stay cool, and what does she say? I don't want to steal everybody likes to say get her done or something. What can we say? If you want to watch a pretty interesting fishing channel that's pretty pleasing to the eyes, I don't know if I've told you this, you can watch Dar Sizzle offshore, and it's pretty interesting. But at the end of her videos, she usually says, follow your dreams and keep on fishing, or keep on catching, I think she says. It's kind of what I'm saying. Follow your dreams, keep on, as Dale Derry says, get out in the shop and build something cool. You know, all the guys that we watch say all these things, that it all amounts to just get outside, piddle around, and before you know it, you might get something accomplished. You never know. Even if it's just cleaning this nasty shop up, that's going to have to be done real quick here. My goal quickly here is to clean this whole mess up, get all these engine parts picked up, and let's get that brush hog in here and get that done for that guy so we can get one more job out of here. This is a hobby shop. I'm not open for business. These are people that I know, and they've asked me to do jobs for them, and so, you know, I oblige them. I make a little bit off of them, just to buy more tools with. We're all tool queers, ain't we? We love tools. I just ordered some today off of Facebook used machinist tools deal. I ordered a new set of Starrett parallels the guy had, so we're all tool queers. And by the way, upcoming deal I'm thinking about buying, this is a little 3/8. I've got plenty of impacts of all sizes, but thinking about buying the new Harbor Freight XT Earthquake, I think it's called, that they put up against the Snap-on, maybe 725. I'm not a big fan of Snap-on impact wrenches, to be honest with you. I got lots of Snap-on tools that I don't care for their impact wrenches, but Ingersoll Rand is the best. Just go ahead and tell you that in case you're wondering. That type of Ingersoll Rand, I know that's an older model, but that style, that's the best impact you can buy. 2235 Ti, I think, is the latest in 1/2 inch, and so that's what you want to get if you want one. I want to have that Earthquake because you can get them like $129.99 with coupon, I think, or they had a coupon in my book for $129. Anyway, I assume you can see me. I gotta get back to work in a minute. I've been feeling a little guilty, and Scott's been bugging me because I hadn't been making any videos. So, hey, I come out here to sweat down, and I'll do a little bit here and a little there. There's nothing, seems like I can't concentrate on one thing for very long because I have so many things to do. And about the time I concentrate on that, you know, this guy would call me about that, and I said, oh yeah, I'm working on that. So you got to kind of feel out which one of them guys really need the stuff first. And I got to get back to work because I've got a shop full of Fords to work on, and can't think of anything exciting, or I'd take the camera up there and show you around. I may be pulling a cab off of a 6.7 diesel pretty soon, doing an engine on those. Those are not fun to me, but you might think it's interesting. If you want to see that, comment about something. Tell me what you want to see. I'll do what you want. This is for fun. I ain't trying to start any crazy YouTube channel to try to be profitable or anything. Kind of like Brian Block said, hey, I'm just doing this because I enjoy it. And if I can help you out, if I can help you, or if you can help me in the comment section, that's really what it's about. Trying to make a little fun out of this hard work that we have to do every day. It's not so fun, but it's a little more fun when other people are kind of joining in and talking about things together. It makes it, you know, I'm alone out here in the shop. It's not exciting to be by yourself out here. So if you make me feel like you're with me out here, then got any questions or even comments, then tell me how stupid I am, whatever you want to do. I don't care. I'll probably get mad at you if you do that. But anyway, I got to get to work, so we'll see what we put on. See you later.